I don't know how the Christian mainstream gets around the fact that he said you answered correctly. Your answer is correct. Because they want to go and see that there maybe was more to this whole discussion and everything else. He says, no, your answer is correct. You want to inherit everlasting life. You need to do this. Love Yahweh, love your neighbor. Torah explains to you how. How do you love Yahweh? How do you love your neighbor? But that's all you need to do. And Yeshua fits into the context of that. He's not a replacement for that. Well, let's be clear and not miss the fact that he said the path to everlasting life is through Torah observance. Is there any way to misunderstand what he said? But yet, mainstream Christianity has completely missed that for whatever reason. I think the reason is pretty obvious. They just don't want to do it. And so they're trying to find plausible, viable reasons and excuses not to do. But, oh, no, Rabbi, now you're talking works salvation, salvation by works. Was the word salvation anywhere in that discussion? You know the phrase, the spirit of the law. Well, there's the law, and then there's the spirit of the law. What's the spirit of the law? Is it a being that's invisible that flies around called the spirit of the law? You know what that phrase means. It's an idiomatic phrase. It means what was intended when they wrote it. This is a big problem in this country as people try to understand our Constitution and what was intended when the people who wrote it. And then they're trying to interpret the new laws through that. I'm not picking on the country. This isn't a political thing. I'm saying is there's a challenge to go back and think you can put on the mindset of the people that wrote it to know what they meant, what they intended. You can choose to be a different type of soil. He's letting you know about you and that you actually have a piece in an action that you can take here. You can be fertile. You can be rocky. You could be among thorns. You could be, or you may already by default, because of the way you were raised, be in these conditions, recognize it, and then choose to react differently. He's teaching you so you can be aware so that when you see it, when it happens, you say, oh, that's what he was talking about. If they believed and they were on rocky ground, that belief would be short-lived. Would they ultimately be saved? No. If they believed and allowed the thorns to choke out worry and pleasures and seeking after whatever you want, are you ultimately going to be saved? No. You have to clean all of that out, till up the ground, and make it ready to receive the word with joy, and then with a noble and good heart, retain it and endure and bear fruit. And then you will ultimately be saved. I'm telling you, I'm going to start passing out the adult diapers and the pacifiers. Well, but you don't understand. That person hurt my feelings. No, I do understand. Put your feelings back in your pocket. Are you back on the ground that we were talking about where, anything's just going to blow you right out? But they were mean to me. Yeah, people are mean. So what? Aren't you hopeful that one day they'll learn not to be mean? You shall be brought before governors and sovereigns for my sake. In other words, this stuff, this awful stuff that's going to happen is somehow serving Yeshua's purposes. That's why I brought this all up. I want you to stay in this group, or whatever group you're in. I want you to keep participating, especially if it gets hard. Oh, the growth that could come out of that, either for you, the other person, or both. Stop running away every time it gets like a little hard. Look, I'm sorry. I'm going to have no mercy for the whiny baby stuff. We need to grow up. He says, I send you out as sheep among wolves. Can you picture that? Can you get that picture? What does it look like to send? Now, we picture a wolf coming among sheep. He says, no, I'm sending you as a sheep among wolves. What's the odds of that sheep being okay? Not good. It's one thing to have a wolf show up among the sheep. It's another thing to have a sheep show among the wolves. He never promised you an easy path. He didn't say that it was going to be an easy path. He said the yoke is easy. What's the difference? The things you actually have to do are not hard. It doesn't mean, though, that everybody else around you won't try to make it hard by how they treat you. When you choose him above a family member, him above a child or whatever, or a spouse or a parent, him above a boss or an employer, him above anything, they are not going to be happy with you. That causes problems. But some of you would rather wish you didn't know what you know, just so you could have restored peace in your house. Yeshua said, I didn't come to bring that. I brought a sword. You need to understand there's a word in your Bible called worthy. How do you get to be worthy? By choices, by decisions. That's what demonstrates worthiness. Can we agree? And so there's works again. There's works involved here. What you do is works. What you choose or not to choose is a work. You choose to go to something or choose not to go to something. You choose to do it or not. Those are both works. They're active decisions.